Plaintiff Deja Williams says the defendant is her older sister, and they have always had a sibling rivalry. Deja claims she was recently staying with the defendant, but she kicked Deja out, changed the locks, and bleached her property. So she's suing. Defendant Simone Williams says the reason she kicked Deja out is because she not only cussed Simone out, but she also threatened her and posted her personal information online. She denies owing Deja for anything.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
This is my oldest sister. We grew up together all our life. We've been in the same household mostly all our life until she moved out. We are all we known. I always felt like growing up it was some type of sibling rivalry. I say that because, to give an example, it was this one time where me and my mom took a trip to California, and I let her borrow my car. I said, you can use my car, only require that you fill the tank back up and you pick us up from the airport. And I let her use my car because she said she needed a way to and from work. So I said, this would be convenient while I'm out of town, you could just use the car. So I checked her location one day and she wasn't at work. I asked her why, and she must have got offended, me asking her why is she not where she's supposed to be. Me being the younger sister, I guess I'm not supposed to be questioning her. So it was some words exchanged going back and forth, and so I guess she must have told my mom, like, I'm tired of this girl on site. When I see her, it's on site. But my mom tried to calm the situation down, try to say it's not worth it. That's your sister. You don't need to be fighting. So she picked us up from the airport around 11-something at night. We got back to our house around 12 in the morning. And when she got out the car, it was on site. She drugged me out the car and we started fighting. And then, although me and her have not seen eye to eye, I still love my sister. There's been times where she has taken up for me, like this time where I was working for this franchise and they shorted my check, and she stood up for me saying, you guys need to give my sister her money. This is not right. Basically, that's what happened.
Good. Why don't you give me some background, ma'am?
So this is my younger sister. As she stated, we have grown up together in the same household. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen eye to eye. There has always been some sister rivalry. Only for the simple fact that Deja's the youngest. She definitely gets babied a lot. They cater to her way more than me and my older sister have grown up. And as far as the situation with the car, yes, she did let me borrow her car. There were heavily words exchanged between the both of us. She was very disrespectful towards me as I was her, which is the reason why we fought. But that has absolutely nothing to do with why we're here today. Deja, I love her. She's gonna always be my sister. But for why we're here today, I feel like she's the reason. She started this entire thing.
Okay, let me allow her to tell me what happened first.
Okay.
Go ahead, ma'am.
So, I had to go move with my sister. I did say she was supportive, so she let me live with her. I was there for over a little bit of a month. When we did get into it, I had initially sent her some money, and I asked her to send it back. So she was taking quite a bit of long time to respond when I needed the money ASAP. So I'm like, okay, why aren't you not responding? She's on Instagram doing a lot of stuff, but just not texting me back. She's saying, oh, I'm at work, I can't text right now. So she ended up sending the money back to an account that I told her not to send it to, that I couldn't access. And so when she sent the money back, it automatically upset me because I just told you, don't send it to this account. I gave you the account to send it to, and she still sent it to the wrong account. Knowing she was probably moving too fast, which is understandable, but still, simple mistakes. And then she ended up saying, she was like, I actually ended up blocking her because I was upset and I didn't want to hear nothing else she had to say. So I blocked her on messages, and then she ended up texting me on Instagram saying, you can stay at Mama's house. I'm changing the locks to my door today. I guess she must have told my mom, like, I'm tired of this girl on site. When I see her, it's on site. But my mom tried to calm the situation down, try to say it's not worth it. That's your sister. You don't need to be fighting. So she picked us up from the airport around 11-something at night. We got back to our house around 12 in the morning. And when she got out the car, it was on site. She drugged me out the car and we started fighting.
Plaintiff Deja Williams is suing her sister, who claims after an argument, Deja threatened her and posted her personal information online.
What happened to your property that caused you to sue?
So after she said that, we got into it in the family group chat, and I guess you can see on page 1 where she said, I'm changing the locks to my door today. Stay at Mama's house. And I said, well, I don't care. I can come get my stuff. You don't need to throw it out. I'll be there. My dad went first, and when he got there, all of my stuff was thrown out on the balcony, on the patio. Well, not the patio, but in front of her house. But she stayed in an apartment home, so it's like a patio balcony. And so when I got there, all of my stuff was bleached. I don't know in between if she had bleached it when my dad left or if she...
Messed up. She thought she was bleaching her boyfriend's stuff. And
I hope so.
Like she was mistakenly sent that money. She was mistakenly bleaching your stuff.
I really do hope so. But no, when I did get there, I brung the police there, and all of my stuff was bleached. So, let's see. I can introduce
When you spoke with her about it, what did she say? Well, you haven't because you didn't want to further confrontation.
I mean, right. Like, at that point, it was just nothing more to be said. Like,
What do you say, ma'am?
Okay, so she did get kicked out of my mom's house. Nobody kind of wanted to take her in, so I came to my mom's house. I missed work that day to come help my sister move all of her belongings into my home. I told her that she could stay at my house rent-free until she got on her feet. As she did state, maybe a month or so later, she did contact me while I was at work. I am a bottle girl at a nightclub, so I'm moving fast. There are customers and stuff like that. And so my friend, she brings me my phone. She's like, your sister's blowed up your phone. Like I said, I'm at work. I glanced at the message. I seen that it said she needed me to send money back, and that's exactly what I did. I didn't really go into further because, you know, you can get in trouble for being on your phone at work. I sent the money back, and it immediately went downhill from there. She started cussing me out because I said it wrong, and I had one job to do, and I didn't do it correctly. So we're going back and forth, and immediately she's like, I'll have people come to your house and shoot it up and all of this stuff. She's like sending threats, and so I'm like, you're not about to cuss me out, and you living in my house rent-free, honey. You don't pay no bills, you don't buy no food, you don't do anything, and I've allowed you to stay, so we're not gonna do that. So if you wanna talk to me like this, you can go and you can stay at my mom's house. So I put that in the group chat. And so as I'm still at work, I haven't even left yet, I see that my tags, my pictures of my face, my home address have been put online where I live. Mind you, I work in a nightclub. People know my face, you know. Right, this is huge. You telling people that you're going to have me killed. You're telling people to come shoot my house up, and they know what I drive.
Putting your address down. I mean, I could imagine clients or customers certainly want to.
Yes, and there are customers.
Probably got some freaks out there, or perverts.
Yes,
who you're a good target for a pervert. So, yeah, that is very inflammatory. His address, who cares?
Right. Mind you.
A little different.
Mind you.
Go ahead.
During this time, I also allowed her, she never asked me for permission to have her boyfriend come and stay with me for days. The first day he came into my house, he walked into my house without knocking. I was in the middle of the floor naked. He walked into my home without knocking. She didn't tell me that he was coming. For almost a week, day in, day night, she would just let him in. Nobody ever asked me for permission that he could stay there, and I allowed him to stay there because I love my sister, you know what, and she didn't have a car at that time. He was taking her to work. But it was just like, you know, you come and go as you please. Nobody's helping me with anything. You know what I'm saying? And you still continue to be disobedient.
Let me ask her about some of this, particularly listing her address on social media. You did that?
I cannot recall. I did post a lot of stuff. It was in the heat of the moment. Like I said, my dad had just called me, showing me everything that she had done to my stuff. But as far as saying, oh, I'm going to have somebody come and shoot you.
No, we're talking about putting her in danger. That's what I'm referring to.
Right.
And you say you don't recall whether you put her in danger. And that's a typical response that means yes. That's overwhelming majority of the time when someone says that in court, that means yes. They're finding a way not to lie, perjure themselves, or be found guilty. So instead, I do not recall. You think I don't know that game? See this to this young lady, put her in danger.
When he got there, all of my stuff was thrown out on the balcony, on the patio. Well, not the patio, but in front of her house. But she stayed in an apartment home, so it's like a patio balcony. And so when I got there, all of my stuff was bleached. I don't know in between if she had bleached it when my dad left or if
Messed up. She thought she was bleaching her boyfriend's stuff.
I hope so.
Like she was
I hope
taking
so.
that money, she was mistakenly bleaching your stuff.
I really do hope so.
Plaintiff Deja Williams is suing her sister, who claims after an argument, Deja threatened her and posted her personal information online.
Go ahead, man.
After all of that, like I said, my intentions was never to destroy her things. I was like, you could just leave. But once I was like, you're going to post these things, you're trying to have people, you put a bargain out on my head saying that you would pay to.
Yeah, it's time to go.
It's time to go.
Now let's get to putting her things out.
Yes,
And how
that's what I'm
long
saying.
after that did her
Immediately.
father come?
I left work immediately and I went and I was putting her stuff out immediately. It wasn't until I left work at like
How
3,
long
4,
after that did her father come?
maybe
though?
around like 8, 9 o'clock at night. So
How
maybe
long?
That
4
is
hours
not
later.
4 hours?
Yes.
You say
Not
how
true.
long?
This was like immediately after. 30
Immediately your
minutes, he
father
left.
came? Your
Immediately.
father came immediately
after.
to pick the things up for
Yes,
you. So
immediately
sue him
after.
for those things that he didn't pick up. Sue him. Your claim is dismissed. Your father went there to pick up your items. Your items were there. He said, you say he went there immediately. So
None of this
he
stuff
should have
had
picked
even
them up. Have
happened
a good
before.
day. Please don't put nobody in danger
not.
like that.
Nothing
I beg
none
you.
of that stuff
have
had
a good
even-
day. Your
Thank you,
claim
Your
is
Honor.
dismissed, ma'am.
I don't care what you have to say.
Well, I'll say it to the camera. I love my sister. Honestly, I feel like this entire situation has been blown out of proportion, and that's what I kept trying to get her to understand. But she's young. We all make mistakes when we're young, and I forgive her. I love her. She's gonna always be my sister. I just hope that she can learn from this situation moving forward. That's all.